Welcome back, everyone. In today's video, we are back working on our HO scale layout. In our last video, we focused on this side. Now, I know I said that I wanted to complete this side before we moved on, but like always, I got inspired and we are working on this side. Now, I have been painting a lot of detail parts, and some of the detail parts just have a gray primer sprayed on them. But I've put them in place, especially up here, because today we're going to put in dirt and grass, and I want to know where to actually put the dirt and grass. For instance, we have a lot of details back here in this corner, and I don't want to put bushes or tall weeds in there and then have to tear it out to put in the details. So this way I sort of know where the details are going to go. So to get started, we're going to have to remove all of the trees and all of the buildings. Okay, so I just took about 25-30 photos close up of what this area looks like so that I can put it back together. The first thing we're going to do is remove the trees, and I'm going to try to replace everything over here on this little cart and put it exactly how it goes. Notice the bases are still in place, and now I'll take a pencil and outline those so that I know exactly where those structures get put back. Okay, so I've outlined all of the foundations. And I put a line here. We're going to end it right here because I need to make a concrete pad that goes in there. So now let's get everything removed, and I'm just going to paint this whole area in here with brown paint. Any brown will work. Raw umber, bittersweet chocolate, any brown. We just don't want the white styrofoam to show through. It's all going to get covered with dirt and grass, but again, we don't want any of that white styrofoam showing through. Okay, so we'll get this all painted, and then we're going to take liquid nails and glue our sidewalks in place and our foundations in place, and then we'll start the scenery work. Okay, I'll take a coffee break, and we'll give this a little while to dry. Okay, I'm gluing the sidewalks in place, and I'm using liquid nails. Now, it's very important that you get the glue, whatever glue you're using, all the way to the edge. Being in a basement, there's definitely a temperature change, and you don't want any areas lifting. Okay, the sidewalks are all glued in place. I actually had to put some weights on the brick sidewalk over here. Now let's get the foundations glued on. And again, you want to make sure that you go all the way to the edge. I may need to grab some more weights to set on this while it dries. Okay, let me get this one glued in and then I'll put some weights on them. Okay, I've got a thin layer. It's completely covered. Okay, let me grab some weights for this. Okay, we're going to start to apply our dirt and grass. We're going to do this in layers, and we're going to start here and work our way back. Now, we'll have to let it dry in between steps, and I will be applying static grass, and I will show you how I do that. Okay, for the first layer, I'm using full strength Elmer's glue. Now I'm adding fine turf, and it is burnt grass. We're just doing a very thin layer. And static grass is going to go over the top of this. Now we're also going to be using some very fine dirt. This is real Colorado dirt. Now we have a dirt driveway here. So we'll add a lot of dirt right here. That noise in the background is my air conditioner. Now we also have some blended turf, earth blend. And I'm just soaking that so that that glue soaks up into all of the grass and the dirt and all of it. Then I have a mixture of 50% water, 50% glue. I want to make sure that that dirt is all glued in place. Now this is going to take a long time to dry because my air conditioner is running, because it's like 90 degrees, probably 99 degrees outside, and so it's making it cool here in the basement, and it's just going to take a while for this to dry. So we're just going to have to be patient, maybe find some other projects to work on, and then once this is dry we can come back and add static grass to it. Okay, let's continue on into this area here. Okay, so cars pull in off the road and park back here a lot. And then there's, we'll have an old, really old car over here. So we want dirt here, and we want a whole path of dirt right here. I keep looking at my buildings. I can see the back of them over there, to make sure that I'm not putting grass like right outside of a door, or in certain areas maybe where I'm going to have certain details. And then I also have the photos on my phone that I can use as reference as far as placement of the abandoned cars and parking areas. Okay, we'll start with the dirt first. Okay, now we just have to wait for all of this to dry, and then we'll take the vacuum and vacuum up all the loose stuff, and then we'll add our static grass. Okay, well, it's the next day and all of this is dry. But while this was drying yesterday, I came over here and started adding grass along here. Hopefully you can see the difference in this side. I wanted this to match a little bit more of this. It makes such a big difference. I want to add some of that grass in here and in these dirt areas over here. Same with this over here. It just really brings it to life. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is take off all of our weights. Now we're going to take some soft pastels and add some value to this dirt. Using an old brush that I cut. Okay, now we need to add glue where we want our static grass to be. And this is probably, it's probably 20% water, mostly glue. I'm wiping off the glue on areas that I don't want the grass to stick. Okay, now we'll take our static grass applicator. Now I've just put some grass inside of it. And you'll notice I've got 2 nails. So now we'll clip this, which plugs into the side right there. Try not to wreck any of my buildings. Okay, I've gone ahead and used my vacuum and sucked up all of the extra grass, and it really made all of that grass stand straight up. Now, while this is still wet, I'm adding some weeds. And we'll even add some of these. Okay, next I'm mixing these two together. I'm going to do 50-50. And I got these from Scenic Express. And they are called Super Leaves. Okay, I've mixed up some glue. It's probably 70% water, 30% glue, maybe even less glue. And we're going to put this where we want our leaves. We may have to spray this first with some alcohol. Okay, I can tell already this is going to be time consuming. You'll see an area where it just sort of sitting on top. So we'll quick spray it. And you can see it just starts to spread out. Now we'll probably have to go back in with some pastels to put those tracks back in there. We'll even dry brush it. I'm way above it. Maybe we'll do some leaves right down the center. Okay, we'll even get some out here on the road. Get it right along the curb. And you can move it around. All right, now again, we just need to let this all dry. I just glued some leaves on the rooftops. Obviously it's still all wet, but this gets glued right here. So I think we're ready to glue that in place. Okay, you can see I just put small dots really in the corners, a little bit on the sides. So if it does need to be lifted or taken off sometime, I probably could get it off there. I could put a knife under there and pry it up. Oh, you know what? Real quick, I'm going to take my vacuum. I think everything is dry. Yeah. I'm going to vacuum and see if any loose stuff comes up. Let me do that quick. So while we're waiting for things to dry on the other side, I've been adding lots of leaves on rooftops, everywhere I can. I wanted to tell you that the fencing is from Woodland Scenics. Wow, we got a lot done in this episode. This was about 3 days worth of work. And I'll tell you, the majority of the time was gluing down all of the leaves on both sides. It has been so exciting to go back and work over on this side of the layout because it has been like 4 or 5 years since I've worked in that area, and it's blending together so nice. There is so much left to do. All of the figures need washes put on them and some dry brushing. All of the vehicles need painting, or at least some weathering done to them. Lamp posts, traffic lights, utility poles, pigeons, on and on. I am committed to making this the most detailed layout that I can possibly do. It's just so exciting to work on it and share it with all of you. And a huge, huge thank you to all of my Patreon members. This channel is not possible without the help of all these people. All right, well, until next time, stay motivated and happy modeling, everyone.